All right, I want to make a couple quick tutorials. I kind of put it in one and it was about a 20-minute video. So I'm going to make a couple of tutorials, one that walks us through Brightspace and another one that goes into our first unit. So you can, watch the second one next week if you want to, and then this one this week. So I'm going to pause this so I can share my screen. And so give me a minute. All right, let me share the screen where I'm viewing as a student. So here is my student view. Hopefully you can see that. Here's my student view. Let me click some of these things out. I don't need my mail open right now. All right, just says, okay, good. All right, so here's my student view, and all that you need is under content. So hopefully, I just uploaded a online course calendar that you can download and print if you want to have that. It's just an extra. Here's our introduction presentation. Here's that 20-minute video and intro. So it was just a little bit too long. So I'm just going to walk us through Brightspace with another video here because it's like 20 minutes long. That's a little bit too long. So if you notice, we're broken into different units. Here's unit one, that's academic integrity. That's going to be the first 2 weeks. Then we're going to go into a narrative unit, a literary analysis unit, a how-to unit, and then an advertisement unit. And we've got sources right above it. I'm going to put it below it. And then we have our finals week. Or when our start here is way at the bottom. Let me make sure I move that up. So you don't want to start at the bottom. So I'll move that around. All right, so let's just go straight into our Brightspace shell here. So unit one, academic integrity. I'm going to put the dates under it too. That might make it a little bit easier on us. So unit one, academic integrity, right? So each unit begins with the description of the unit. Right. So at the top of it has a description of the unit. And then you'll notice week one with the dates and week two with the dates. Right. So we're in week one still. This is the second day of week one. And so you can read, what this unit means to us and what we'll be doing. And you can also keep on scrolling down. And here's week one, August 17. So I try to break it down as much as I can. So I have kind of what we're doing this week, the steps for this week, what we need to read and watch, and what we need to submit. And then if there's anything that you need, that's any links that you need, they're provided here, including like the online student agreement, which is also in the start here. So this is going to be in two places. So you might already have that done. And you'll notice that like prompts and quizzes, they'll be in more than one place. So it doesn't mean you have to do it more than one time. It just means that they're very accessible, hopefully. So here's our course objective survey. So if you click on that, it'll go straight to the assessment, right? And then I can come back here and click on either unit one or week one, right? So you don't have to go back to content. You can come up here and click on like unit one and it'll go back to that unit. Right. So we're in week one, and this week, of course, we're going to watch that introductory presentation, read the syllabus. There's a course calendar, explore the course in Brightspace, right? That's what we want to do during this week is just get familiar with the course in Brightspace. And then week two, next week, we're going to jump into the AI unit on what is okay in this class when it comes to AI, right? So we have a Are We Human presentation that I created. We want to look at the policy. Anyway, so that's what we're doing next week. And I'm going to try to remember to do like at least a unit by unit video, if not a week by week video. All right. And then, okay, so we're done with this unit. We're going to go into the narrative unit, right? So again, in 3 weeks or so, on starting August 31st, we jump into our multimedia, multimedia memoir. Why is it called interactive? It's not interactive, it's multimedia memoir. All right, so the multimedia memoir, a semester-long unit. So then it goes into, okay, this is what the entire unit is about. These are some of the texts that we'll be using. And then here's what we're doing week by week, right? So steps, what we're doing week by week, what we need to read and watch, what we need to write, and then at the bottom, submit by. So if this is overwhelming to you, just look at the submit by each time, right? Look at the submit by. I went through this a million times to make sure it doesn't say in class, and it does. So I'll go through again. But if it says like in class only, not on Brightspace, that just means that it's handwritten. So of course, my face-to-face students will want to upload it to Brightspace, and these are handwritten. So we do a lot of handwriting, handwritten things in this class. Even the online class, we still do a lot of handwritten things in class. So our multimedia memoir is handwritten. Our not our essays, of course, not the essays. The essays are not handwritten, but the pre-writes and the outline, those are all handwritten, right? So let's make sure that we're doing that. So if you notice, like I said, it says Unit 2. So for 2 weeks, we're going to do the interactive memoir, the multimedia memoir, and then we're going to go into the literary analysis unit. So once again, there's 5, 6, and 7. So for 3 weeks, we'll do this literary analysis of Edgar Allan Poe, and then Unit 4 for those weeks, week 8, 9, and 8, 9, 10, and 11. For those 4 weeks, we're going to look at Edgar Allan Poe. Oh no, that's the how-to. We're going to do a how-to. Anyway, so that's how it's broken down. So this is how your Brightspace is broken down in content. If you just refresh content, we have Unit 1, Academic Integrity. So that for 2 weeks, we talk about that. Unit 2, the Multimedia Memoir. We do that for 2 weeks. In the Edgar Allan Poe, we're going to do Edgar Allan Poe for, I don't want these to be, anyway. So we're going to do Edgar Allan Poe for 3 weeks or so. And then, yeah, 3 weeks. Yep. Edgar Allan Poe for 3 weeks. How-to for 4 weeks. An advertisement argument for 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. Oh, that's the sources. And then your argument for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks is going to be the argument essay. So that's how that's broken down. So everything else you can find in you can go to discussions and see these discussions that we are doing, right? You're more than welcome to click on the discussions tab if it's going to open. You're more than welcome to click on the discussions tab and see the discussions that we do. I need to go through and make where you can't see every single one of them because that gets a little bit overwhelming. You can go to discussions. You can go to assessments and assignments. You can go to all those, but they should have a hyperlink at the bottom of each week. You really only need content. You really don't need discussions and activities, assignments, activities, assessments. You really shouldn't need all those. But if I miss any, that's where they are. But you will need more tools and grades, right? So that's how to find your grades. Of course, we don't have any grades just yet, but that's where to find your grades. All right. So, hopefully that answers any questions. So everything should just be in content. Everything should just be in content. I know there's 1 week that you're working with the groups, but I think that's also in, I think that's also in that. So that's how to navigate Brightspace. I don't know how long this video's taken. Uh, I wasn't, I wasn't timing myself, but you also are more than welcome to look at, okay, well, what are these essays about? So in Unit 1, if you go to this introduction presentation, you will find, and then I also have an ADA compliance. So just where's that? Anyway, also, oh, that's in, sorry, I'm in yeah, the unit. Oh no, I'm sorry. The syllabus calendar and instruction. So sorry. With this introduction presentation, the Brightspace and intro video walkthrough, and then they have an ADA compliant description of the presentation that if it's a little bit hard, with the music and with the pictures and all that, there's one that just kind of discusses that. And then here's a calendar. So what do you need to do this week? That might be what you're asking. So at the end of this video, let's talk about, well, what do I need to do this week? So this week we want to go to week 1 right here. We want to watch the introductory presentation. We want to look over the syllabus. We want to look over the course calendar. We want to get an idea of our major assignments. Okay, what are we doing? And what we need to have done this week is the course objective survey and our handwritten and our assessment essay. So I'm going to put that on the announcements that we need to have our course objective survey, which is right here. And then we need to have our assessment essay, which is right here, that writing assessment. And it needs to be handwritten because I don't want students to copying? Okay, so there's a couple of reasons. The main reason that we do a lot of handwriting has nothing to do with AI. I promise you, has nothing to do with your ability to copy and paste this over into AI and spit out something for me. What it has to do, and what we'll get into in the next unit, it has to do with let's see this if you really want to know, you're welcome to jump into unit 2 and find this video, this notebook system that saved my brain. Building habits to be a better writer is to read daily, of course, but it's also handwriting. That this one, the notebook system that saved my brain, that's writing by hand. The notebook system that saved this person's brain is that he handwrites things, because there's a place in your brain, this creative area. It's like over here, I think. I don't know. Anyway, that there's this creative area that just enlightens whenever you're writing by hand. That doesn't happen when you're typing on a keyboard, right? When you're making these loops and you're dotting these I's and you're doing these things with your hands, your brain just fires differently. That's the main reason why we write our memoirs by hand, our assessment essay by hand, our pre-writes, our outlines, all that by hand, is because it's just better for your brain. And then the second reason is because, again, you are able to take that. Everyone, just about everybody knows that you are able to go to this assessment, right? You're able to click on my writing assessment. Okay, what do you want me to do? Read the sayings above and read the saying above and handwrite a thesis-driven 5-paragraph essay that represent in the quote one specific life experience, 300 words. So you are able to copy and paste. Like, a lot of people know you can copy and paste that into AI, and I won't take that. So I will not take anything that AI spits out. I know how to tell if it's AI. I know what AI looks like, reads like, smells like, tastes like. I know what AI looks like, and I will not take it. So before we get, there's our AI unit right there. That's our entire next week right there, is I won't take it. So make sure that you write this out by hand, and that is it. It's 100% your essay. All right. The last thing I'll say, and then I'll be quiet, also has to do with AI, that even if you do copy and paste this into AI and then handwrite what AI gave you, we're going to be doing a lot of Zoom conferences where students have to Zoom with me when we do the pre-writes and we do the outlines and whatnot. So I'll be able to see what you pre-write, what you outline. And if your first essay, if you're like a normal student and you're working with it and it's an arduous task and it's not aligning up with what you gave me on week 1, like if week 1 is this long spelled out essay, um, then I'm not going to take it. You'll lose those points, right? You will lose those points for your writing assessment. And I won't take it. And then if you like do it again, then you're going against our AI policy and I'll have to write you up. So just don't do it. All right. So, all right. Well, let me know if you have any questions with mostly everything in content. And then what you need to do for week 1 is the course objective survey and the week 1 writing assessment, right? And then you have an online student. Oh, yeah, you have an online student agreement. So you have those 3 things to do. It's all under week number 1. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.